know what free is, nigga? What's free? Free is when nobody else can tell us what to be.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Now, tonight, there is a blatant attempt to gag Standard Group PLC by the Communications Authority of Kenya through the revocation of all the broadcasting licenses legally issued to the Standard Group. The Communications Authority, through a letter by the Director General, David Mugonyi, has gone ahead and disregarded a payout plan of a debt of 43 million shillings as regulatory fees that had been signed and agreed upon in December last year, only for them to send a notice revoking the licenses. According to the company's chief executive editor, Chacha Mwita, the government is using the debt issue to muzzle the company, which of late has been exposing the ills in the Kenya Kwanza administration led by President William Ruto. Chris Thyro reports.
Since its inception in 1902, the Standard Group has widely been recognized for its bold and fearless reporting and media practices. This includes its commitment to delivering impactful journalism, even when facing challenges or criticism. However, due to the harsh economic challenges, the company accrued a debt of 48 million shillings, money owed to the Communication Authority of Kenya as license fee. In December last year, the company and CA signed an agreement on the payout plan with a commitment to start paying the debt. The same month, the company deposited 10 million shillings with a promise of an additional 24 million shillings once the rights issue is finalized. Further, the company agreed a monthly repayment structure of 2.5 million shillings starting January this year. However, the company went further and increased the payout plan to 4 million shillings per month, which has been honored to date.
Anything outside of that smacks of ill will and malice, and we have no option but to fight it.
But to the dismay of the company, the Communications Authority of Kenya made an abrupt about turn and through a letter dated the 9th April this year and signed by the Director General David Mugonyi, issued a notice to revoke all the broadcasting licenses issued to the Standard Group. Despite having a clear payout plan and having honored the monthly payment and even increased from 2.5 million shillings to 4 million shillings.
We have moved to the tribunal to ask for an injunction against the publication of the threatened Gazette notice to revoke all our broadcast licenses. And we think that this is an attempt to gag the media.
The Communications Authority claims that nothing has been honored. The Standard Group has of late been exposing all the ills bedeviling the Kenya Kwanza administration, something that the powers that be have not been comfortable with the truth.
So the truth of the matter is that there is no question of stepping down or increasing pressure, or it is something that I always say that what we publish and carry is the reality of the day. So if the reality changes, of course the reality of those headlines and the reality of those stories will change. We are not going to back down. We are not going to report things that are not the reality just to make some people happy.
Ironically, the government owes the Standard Group more than 1.2 billion shillings, being money accrued from advertisements from government agencies and county governments.
This is one of the strangest thing about this case, because the government owes us over 1.2 billion Kenya shillings, and what the Communication Authority is asking from us is something in the region of 48 million, a figure we dispute because we have significantly brought it down since we entered this payment plan.
From the bold and better headlines on the Standard newspaper to the objective and authoritative news reporting in both radio and TV, it is clear that the Kenya Kwanza administration is out to gag the very media that is responsible for informing and educating the public on what's happening around the world, and more so what this regime is up to.
We will fight to the hilt.
Now, in the wake of a detailed coverage of the ongoing protest against the Finance Bill 2024 that has been organized by Gen Z protesters, we would like to inform our viewers that we have received threats from authorities of intention to shut us down. We would like to inform the public of our commitment to defend the public interest, and we shall not be cowed by any threats. Just to let you know that in the wake of our detailed coverage of the ongoing protest against the Finance Bill 2024 that has been organized by Gen Z protesters, we would like to inform our viewers that we have received threats from authorities of intention to shut us down. We would like to inform the public of our commitment to defend the public interest, and we shall not be cowed by any threats.
3 weeks or so, Standard Group PLC has come under sustained and unwarranted and malicious online attacks aimed at tainting the reputation not only of this institution but also of individuals working right here. To understand the genesis, we ask who benefits from this. It began soon after we called out the PS in the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy. We told Professor Kisiangani not to cut the hand that once fed him. We were fighting for our rights. One of the main sources of revenue for media houses had been shrunk significantly via his orders. We highlighted how instrumental the media has been in advancing his cause and career to the point that he got noticed, and we maintain tonight that, Prof, the media is not your enemy. Let's not digress further. Constantly, we have seen sponsored hashtags on X generated by some shadowy figures and of course advanced by bots and enemies of the media. We say the media because as much as Standard Group is the current target, we have seen other media houses face the same harassment. We will not allow this, and that is the reason why tonight we are pushing back. We at Standard Group are very okay. We don't suffer any illusion that we shall get out of the challenging times, so don't remind us. Instead, do something about it. The national government owes media houses a lot of money. The best they could do is to pay up. Irresponsible thinking that starving the media is a means to beating them to submission will and has never worked. These are individuals with families, and you will not just kill their careers but disadvantage a whole generation. Secondly, we are not sick. These are rumors, unfounded and very untrue. Stings to the high heavens. Standard Group is the oldest media house, and it's not about to close shop. We are not being auctioned, and investors, be assured your shares are still being traded. We have some of the most dedicated staff in here. We will stand with them. So the question is, who benefits from the negative publicity? It's obvious. It's not the competition, because they have also been targeted too. It's not also the public or even you, the viewer, because we will remind you that the media is the most trusted estate. This is why tonight we place our tribulation on the government's doorstep. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki, protect us from these bullies and fake news propagandists. You are able, you have the constitutional mandate to do this. And to PS Raymond Omolo, this falls squarely in your docket. Find these falsehood peddlers and bullies. You know what to do with them. We dare say, you know who is behind these attacks. Prove to the nation it's not you, the government, by ending this senseless attack, not only to this institution, but also to individuals. At Ken Mijungu across all social media platforms, the top stories tonight.
Tonight, we begin with a red flag over what we see as a threat to one of the most fundamental pillars of the country's democracy, the media. An ill-advised and thoughtless tweet earlier today by Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot issued a thinly veiled threat, referring to the media as a, quote, cartel that should be crushed by President William Ruto. As if possessed by a spirit reincarnated from the pits of the one-party dictatorship hell, the Senator Majority Leader even went as far as suggesting that crushing the media, whatever that means, would be good for the public. His rationale, believe it or not, is that the media is, quote, too influential and too powerful, unquote. Well, we choose to understand the word crushing in its plain meaning, which has the connotation of compressing or squeezing something forcefully so as to break or damage it or distort its shape. Of course, it is needless to say that no law gives the president any such powers over the media. Indeed, the very constitution that created the Senate, to which Cheruiyot is a gleeful member, singles out the media for particular protection against rogue elements in the ilk of Kericho senator. That 2010 constitution dedicates no less than 3 entire articles, in addition to an array of other incidental provisions, to the primacy of media freedom in all its expressions. If crushing things is a government policy, then there is surely no shortage of things to crush. The high cost of living, the runaway fuel prices, the price of unga, the free fall of the shilling. That would be a good place to start. Further, as a lawmaker, Mr. Cheruiyot ought to know that the media is not just a business. In its plurality and totality, it is directly tied to the very kernel of a democratic society, freedom of expression, which, among other things, protects the rights of the individual from political tyranny. In suggesting that the president should crush the media, Mr. Cheruiyot is therefore inviting the head of state to abrogate a fundamental pillar of the very constitution he swore to uphold, merely to satisfy the senator's primitive instinct of power accumulation. Yet, Cheruiyot's verbal misadventure is not all an isolated happenstance. To the contrary, it is only the latest in a series of seemingly casual remarks that not only seek to degenerate the media, but reek of disdain and a desire to delegitimize the country's fourth estate. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has never hidden his impatience with the media that he sees as an inconvenience rather than a legitimate player in Kenya's democratization journey. While the media is, of course, not infallible, that is why our regulatory framework prescribes a robust mechanism for holding the media to account. The Complaints Commission, for instance, exists precisely for that purpose, and the likes of Aaron Cheruiyot have every opportunity to convey whatever perceived infringements to this commission. The president, in whose name the likes of Cheruiyot purport to speak, has projected himself as a Democrat and expressed his intention to engage the sector and robustly criticize it whenever he finds its contents contestable. But he has never promised to crush the sector. Right now, he would do well to come out and unequivocally disown these rogue statements. For as long as he remains silent, so long will these doubts linger, and so long will this misguided mindset continue to find succor in government and the country at large. Over to you, Mr. President.
Enda Mungu akuosamee dhambi zako. Just be safe, just be safe.
You like me, why them a fight me? You like me, chewing a bone, a bite it. We don't trust them, even if we bust them. We don't trust them, stay far, not touch them. We don't trust them, hope their man not sub them. Informer, me say you must them.